Okay, today we're going to talk more about those angle relationships that we talked about yesterday, and we're going to apply some rules. And these rules are good when the two lines that the transversal cuts through are parallel to each other. So let's do a review real quick. All right. And I want to try to figure out the best way for you to be able to remember this information. And I don't know if it's from a picture or if it's from definitions. All right, yesterday we said that this slanted vertical looking line was a transversal because it intersected at least two other lines. It created 8 angles. And then those those pairs of angles had names. And the order of the names I don't think is important as alternate interior. Okay, alternate interior angles. In this case, alternating sides of the transversal on the interior of the two lines. Okay, one pair would be 3 and 5, right? 3 and 5. And then another pair would be, what's the other pair? 3 and 5, what else? 4 and 6, good. 4 and 6. Now, there's a rule that says, there's a rule in geometry, a theorem in geometry that says if two parallel lines, these arrows on the lines mean that they're parallel to each other. If two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, which they are here, right? Then alternate interior angles are congruent. All right? Now, I don't know, in the past I've had everybody write that all out. If two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then alternate interior angles are congruent. But it doesn't seem like everybody or anybody really remembers it that well. So I'm trying to come up with a better way for you to remember that this right here is going to be the same as this right here when these two are parallel. Okay? So I don't know the best way for you to remember it. Do they look like they're equal to each other? They don't? That measure right there doesn't look the same as that one right there? Just flipped over? Does it look the same as 6? No. I guess the point I'm trying to make is if these two lines are parallel to each other, then any angles in this picture that look like they're the same, they are the same. Okay? So in this case, angle 3 is congruent to angle 5. And angle 4 is congruent to angle 6. Alternate exterior angles. We talked about those yesterday. Alternate exterior. Okay? 2 and 8. Do they look like they're equal to each other?
Yeah.
It's kind of a smaller angle, isn't it? All right? Well, if these two lines are parallel, if L is parallel to M, then 2 is congruent to angle 8. All right, so alternate exterior angles, and we can just say are, here's the symbol for congruent, are congruent. So angle 2 is congruent to angle 8, And what's the other pair of alternate exteriors?
1 and 7.
Angle 1 is congruent to angle 7. All right, so add up here alternate interior, we're going to say are congruent. Alternate interior congruent. Alternate exterior are congruent. Corresponding angles. Those are congruent as well. Corresponding, we talked about holding a position in the red set of angles and holding a position in the blue set of angles. Okay? So what corresponds to angle 1?
Angle 5.
Yeah, angle 1 and angle 5 are going to be congruent to each other. Angle 2, that's going to be congruent to what? 6, good. 3 is congruent to?
7.
3 is congruent to 7. Four, angle 4, it corresponds to 8, and they're congruent. So we've talked about alternate interior, alternate exterior, corresponding. Consecutive interior. Consecutive interior, those were ones on the same side of the transversal on the inside or in between the interior of the two lines. All right, so consecutive interior, we're going to say those sum 180. Consecutive interiors sum 180. Thank you. So angle 3 plus angle 6 equals 180 degrees. Angle 4 plus which angle? What's consecutive interior with 4?
5.
Good. Angle 4 plus angle 5 equals 180 degrees. Make any sense? I hope. So today and tomorrow, here's some of the types of problems you're going to see. So let's get a new picture. Let's get two parallel lines and cut them by a transversal. We'll call the two parallel lines A and B, and the transversal C. Now, unless you're told that A is parallel to B in the question, or unless you got the red arrows on the lines, you can't assume they're parallel. The red arrows mean they're parallel, or this symbol, if you're told that A is parallel to B. You have to be told one of those things. All right, so now we can take these angles and number them. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then where angle 5 would go, we're going to make this 70 degrees. And then we're going to number the rest of them. 6, 7, and 8. And now we're going to find the angle measures. We're going to find all the angle measures. And now, for a bunch of different reasons, you don't have to use the rules you just learned today. You can use your rules from vertical angles. You can use your rules from a linear pair to find the rest of these angle measures. So here's the easiest way to do this. If you're asked to find all the angle measures, and let's say they're listed 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you got 6, 7, and 8. You got to find all those angle measures. When you start this, whether it's just a single question that asks for the measure of angle 2, or it's a problem that asks for all the angle measures, just determine all the angle measures anyway. It's the simplest way to do these problems. Okay? So let's look at first, what do you know is equal to 70 degrees in this picture? 4 and 1. And what's your reasoning? Why is 1 equal to 70 degrees? What are they called? They're corresponding angles. All right? So in your head, when you're saying, well, angle 1 is 70 degrees, just answer to yourself why. Well, because it corresponds with this 70 degree angle. What else do you know now from this picture? Say again? 3 is 70. And why is 3 70 degrees? Because they're vertical angles. It's a vertical angle with 1, isn't it? Okay? Looking at the picture, what else do you know? Yes? 7 is 70 as well. Why? Because it's a vertical angle with a 70 degree angle, right? Now, what else do you know from this picture? You just answered half of them. Say again? All right, let's pick one of them. Angle 8 is equal to, you said how much? 110. Why? Because it's a linear pair with angle 7, right? Those are the words you want to use. It's a linear pair with angle 7. It's also a linear pair with a given angle, isn't it? Okay? So now, if number 8 is equal to 110, what's 6 equal to? 110. Why? What are they? They're vertical angles. Good. What else do you know? Let's go number 4. What's number 4 equal to? 110. Why? It corresponds to 8, doesn't it? What's another reason? Is it alternate interior with 6?
Yeah.
It's alternate interior with 6, and those are congruent. Look what else it is. It's same side interior with the 70, isn't it? And those two have to sum 180. So 70 and 110 is 180. So what's your last angle equal to?
110.
Why?
It's vertical.
It's vertical to a 110. What else? Corresponds to what?
6.
It corresponds to 6. Why else?
It's an exterior of 8.
What kind of exterior?
An alternate.
It's an alternate exterior angle with 8, so they're congruent. Okay? It's a linear pair with 1, right? For a bunch of different reasons, it's 110 degrees. So those are the things that you want to get going through your mind when you're answering them, because it was actually pretty simple, wasn't it?
Yeah.
If one of them was 70, the other one was 110, and you just had to look at the angle to determine which was which. But please try to answer why to yourself, or the book or the assignment may ask you to list the angle measure and give the reason. The reason is it's an alternate exterior, an alternate interior. Use the names of the angle pairs that we've been talking about. Okay, so let's see here. So I didn't want to throw this at you today, but I'm gonna anyway because you can handle it. Let's look at this. And I'm on the top of 182 if you're following along in your program. And we're going to go LM and N again. If angle 4 is 2x minus 17, so they're saying that this angle right here, 2x minus 17 degrees. And the measure of angle 1 equals 85. And this angle is 85 degrees. Okay, they ask you to find the value of x. So find, we're going to say find x, which means find the value of x. Now, here's how you have to do these, okay? There's a couple different ways to do this problem. When you see something like this, the first thing you want to do is you want to get more information on the paper. Meaning, if this angle up here is 85, what's the angle vertical to it?
85.
It's 85 as well, isn't it? If the angle I just wrote down is 85, what's the angle? What's its alternate interior angle going to measure? Alternate interior angles.
95.
Alternate interior angles. 85. And doesn't this one that I just wrote down correspond to the given one?
Yeah.
Okay. So now you got a lot more you got a lot more information in this picture, don't you? Okay? They're asking you to solve for x. Well, what do you know about these two? Right here.
They have to equal 180.
They sum 180, don't they? Because they form a line. They're a linear pair. So you just set up your equation. You take your 85 plus your 2x minus 17, and you make it equal to 180. And now, be careful when you're combining like terms here because it's subtraction. So you got 2x, and you got 85 minus 17. Okay, so 2x plus 68 equals 180. Subtract 68. So your 2x is going to equal 112, and then you can divide by 2. And x equals 56. Everybody okay with that? Okay. Anybody have any questions about what we talked about today? All right, make sure that you're told that these two lines are parallel, okay? Or you can see it L. It would look like L is parallel to M. Those two lines have to be parallel in order for those rules to be true. So today, on page 183, do problems 1 through 6, and then 8 through 19. Check your odds, please. I'm even going to say please. Check odds, please, and deadline.